Go back down into Los Angeles now to our newsroom on the west side of the city where Trace Gallagher's monitoring developments. Trace, this manifesto from this suspect who's targeting cops, it's stunning.
It is stunning, Shep, and it says he wants to kill cops because he believes cops ruined his name when they fired him and accused him of lying. Now, he acknowledges that he will not be alive when his name is cleared, but then again, police have no intention of clearing it. They think that he is a cold-blooded killer. Dorner says the L.A. cops are more racist today than they were during the Rodney King era. And when it comes to killing them, he wants to start small, get bigger, using their tactics. He writes, and I'm quoting here, "You are aware that I have always been the top shot, highest score, and expert in rifle qualifications in every unit I've been in. I will utilize every bit of small arms training, demolition, ordnance, and survival training I've been given." Police say they believe him because they trained him. He started with the L.A. Police Department, Shep, 8 years ago today.
Wow. Now, Trace, I've read this thing, and he talks about Wolf Blitzer and Anderson Cooper and Willie Geist from NBC. It's bizarre. A lot of people on television. He talks about politics, Hillary Clinton and George W. Bush. He talks about a lot of pop culture, Shep, and more importantly, he names the people on the Los Angeles Police Department, 40 names in all, and none of them are being made public. Everybody in the manifesto is now getting extra protection. In fact, one of the police officers who was shot and wounded today was actually protecting a target named in that manifesto. Dorner says he wants the police and their families killed, saying, again, quoting here, "Suppressing the truth will lead to deadly consequences for you and your family. There will be an element of surprise where you work, live, eat, and sleep." Dr. Keith Abloh says he's apparently lost his empathy. Listen.
He's now devoid of that, and so he is like a runaway train. He's capable in a terrible way of inflicting awful suffering and feeling nothing because he has severed himself from his feelings.
I just want to mention they are still searching snow tracks in the Big Bear Mountain, Shep. The sun sets in about 40 minutes. They're expecting snow and rain up there tonight with a low temperature of about 20 degrees.
Our coverage continues throughout the evening with the help of Trace and up on Big Bear. Thanks. That manifesto references a man named James Usura, calling him a great friend and attorney. We spoke with James today, our colleagues did here at Fox News, and he said he'd not talked to the suspect in about 4 years. The chief Fox Sports correspondent Jonathan Hunt with more on this guy. Any insight from him?
Yeah, we spoke to James Usura at some length today, Shep, by phone. We talked to him about how he first learned about all of this that was happening with his old friend Christopher Dorner, and he told us that when he first found out, he was just stunned.
I'm just befuddled, absolutely befuddled. You know, no one expects to come to work and have an email from a reporter from the Los Angeles Times telling me that I'm mentioned in a manifesto and that someone who I consider a friend has gone on a killing spree or allegedly gone on a killing spree. So I was absolutely befuddled and shocked.
James Usura attended University of Southern Utah and played football there with Christopher Dorner. They both had pretty stringent political views, he said. They used to argue a lot about those politics, but he said of Christopher Dorner, he never saw a hint of a violent nature.
He seemed very rational and, articulate and intelligent and well-reasoned. Nothing about his behavior, in my experience, suggested that he was violent in any fashion or that he was, unreasonable or would take such drastic type steps.
Now, we wrapped up the conversation by asking Mr. Usura what his message would be to his old friend Christopher Dorner. Listen.
My message to him would simply be turn yourself in and get this situation resolved. Enough damage is done. Obviously, my thoughts and prayers go out to the people who have been affected by this most intimately and the families who have been devastated by this. And so, my message to Mr. Dorner would simply be turn yourself in and put an end to this.
Now, talking of how this might end, Christopher Dorner wrote in that so-called manifesto of his friend James Usura, quote, "I'm sorry I'll never get to go on that moose and bear hunt with you. I love you, bro." Certainly doesn't sound, Shep, like a man who is planning to see any of his old friends ever again.
No, he clearly is not. Jonathan Hunt continuing our coverage.